So, you might have noticed I haven't uploaded in a long time, but I've been busy with other stuff. So, the tournament is over, and I'm not gonna spoil you how I finished it, but I'm gonna show you some of the games that have been played. I decided to make one unique video for the whole rest of the tournament, since I don't have right now the time to do a single video dedicated to every single game. This is the first opponent that I played after the two that I have already shown. I've shown just opponent number one because I don't want to leak the names for privacy concerns. And there is his ELO. He's a kid, basically. He's younger than me. He's, I believe, 17, maybe even 16. And I've played him several times and I've won every single time. I mean, he's not bad, but he's learned chess for 1 year and I've known it for triple his time. So this is the game that we played, the first game. Again, I'm gonna go kind of fast on this game. This is a French. He said he specifically opened YouTube and typed how to crush the French defense just for me, because he knew that I played the French defense. I mean, I don't blame him. I do that too. I prepare against my opponent. It's not something to hate to. So yeah, he played the exchange variation, which is very drawish. I really don't like playing the exchange variation as a French player, because it's just hard to you see, everything is so symmetrical. It's so hard, so tough to find anomalies, to find weakness in your opponent's position. And yeah, it's just nothing much going on. We traded the C, D, and E pawn. We have no pawns. We both have 2 bishops and 2 knights, and no pieces have been traded at all. And yeah, nothing to write home about. I thought I could play. I could just trade here on d4 and just draw the game. Honestly, there is not much to do after the trade on d4. I decided to try to go for a little something. Then he sacked a piece, and I was very perplexed after bishop f7. I immediately noticed his idea was, after I take back with the king, to go queen b3 and fork my bishop and my king. And so he would be winning back the piece. Now, I don't know what he missed. I really don't know, but I just have knight d5, which is not blessed by the computer for some reason. The point is, of course, that I'm blocking the check and I'm defending the bishop with my knight. There must be some complex variation after this. No, that doesn't work, because the whole point is the knight is pinned by the bishop, so this is not a free piece. I'm curious to know what the computer wanted after this. Oh, just castles. Interesting. And apparently black is not even that better. Fascinating. Because then the pin is not here. And if I take the knight after, I'm just gonna show it. If I take the knight after his castle, he can take. No, he can't take it, of course, because it's not guarded. So what? B takes c3. And apparently this position where I'm up a piece, it's not that bad. Fascinating, don't you think? Anyway, none of this really happened, and I defended with a knight, and he castled long, which is very good, apparently. I took the knight because I thought, well, I'm up a piece, so the less pieces there are on the board, the more I can win this game. I pinned this knight. There was a tactical continuation, very complex stuff. I try to go there, but then I'm pinned because this is hanging. So I was very tactical, guys. I do not recommend playing like this. But then I abandoned the king and my pieces swarmed in. I traded my knight for the rook, winning the exchange, and then I'm just coming for his king. This is really bad. I'm winning every piece, and yeah, mate is on the board. He can only block with the queen, but then it is checkmate. So this is my first game after my first opponent. This is the second one. I had the white pieces, of course, is one with black, one with white. He played the Sicilian again just because he really did not want to face the Vienna, which I usually play after e5. He usually plays e5, but he really wanted to avoid the Vienna. So I played this mainland Sicilian that I know absolutely nothing about, but I played it anyway. And I thought I was being really clever, because these 6 pawns out of 7 that he has remaining on light squares, which means that dark squares are really up for grabs. And I went taking them with my pawns on f4 and e5. I'm controlling the dark squares around this king, and I have a really good space advantage. And I thought my position was so good. This check I saw did nothing. The bishop is not hanging because there is a fork here on d6. If you take the bishop, I can fork the king and the queen. So I'm defending against this, and he went back to b6. And yeah, he lost the rat to castle, and I thought I was just swarming in. There is nothing he could have done. You might have noticed here, my knight was actually hanging, not here, because I'm attacking his bishop, so he can't take my knight. Oh, well, he could, but it will be an equal trade. And yeah, in this exact moment, the knight is hanging. He can just take it. But I was thinking, now the knight is pinned, so I'm gonna add more pressure, and I'm probably gonna get my piece back. I'm not. Turns out I'm just a moron, because after this, he just goes bishop e7, and I'm not winning the piece back. There is no pin anymore. He can just escape, and I have no more good ways to put pressure. He didn't spot bishop e7. Rather, he went away with the king, and now I defend the knight, and now he can't take it. He attacks my rook, and I move it, looking to double on the second rank. Sorry. He traded the knight, and now I begin losing a couple of pawns, and there is a really bad tactic that I missed here. Oh, rather, I thought that I have a brilliant tactic. Brilliant. Taking the pawn on g6, because I'm attacking his queen, so he can't take my bishop, because he would be losing his queen. But I forgot about this move. And now, after I trade and he takes back, he's attacking my rook. So I got a rook and a bishop under attack. You'll actually see. See, right now material is down a pawn, but piece-wise it's equal. And I have a bishop hanging and a rook hanging. So I should probably get my bishop back and try to find a way to sack the exchange. What does computer say again? Rook c1. So if he takes my bishop, I take his. And yeah, instead... Oh, I did find rook c1. Yeah, I'm brilliant. Okay. Then instead of losing the rook for the bishop, I lost the bishop for nothing, which is bad. You should really try to get the rook for the bishop rather than a bishop for nothing. To lose, rather. And I thought, well, I am how many pawns down? I'm only 1 pawn down. But I'm gonna fight. I'm a bishop down, and I'm gonna try to do something against this king, since it is so restrained. The rook here can't be traded, and maybe I had something. And then he blundered mate. There we go. Because after king h1, rook f8 is made. He put the rook in the exact spot that I needed to deliver mate. He moves the rook anywhere. It's not checkmate, because I don't have rook f8. But when his rook is on f8, I can just take it in this checkmate. This is tragic, guys. I had a good position. I was dominating on the dark squares, and then I was losing, and then he blundered mate into. Happens. I'm not proud of this win, but it's a win nevertheless. This third game was the game against my second opponent after the previous one. He's also very young, and I had no idea what to expect. So he played e5, I played e4. I played this very tricky queen g4 line. I should also mention that I lost my first game. I'm not going to show you every game, as I said, but the first game against this one opponent, I lost. So this is my second game. and he played queen b6, and I queen f6. Rather, and I'm very prepared against his line. After queen f2, he took with the bishop though. Maybe he saw something he didn't like, and for good reason, I say. And here I just traded queens and went to win the rook. His bishop is slightly threatening, but I thought, yeah, I'm up full rook. Probably this knight is gonna get taken, so it's gonna be up to an exchange, but I don't mind it, logically. And here I went to give this check. I knew that my knight was gonna get trapped, but by getting my knight trapped, I lure his queen out of the c7 square, so my other knight gets free. So I give up this knight, trying to get some material on the way back, freeing up this other knight. So I basically didn't lose a knight because this AA's knight was already dead. I'm sucking to get the other knight out, and here I thought easiest thing, fork, trade, get the knight out on c7, yeah, and just win this end game because I'm up so many points of material. Here I went knight to e6 for a simple reason. I wanted him to take. Anything else is kind of ugly because I'm gonna be taking the c5 strong bishop, and he also gets rid of this bad bishop on c8, which is not doing much. So I thought he would trade, and then I thought he would take on a2, and I thought, I'm so smart. His rook is now in a cage. He can't move. He's basically down a rook for... I basically have this rook, and he doesn't have a rook. And you might argue this bishop is not playing, but it's like I traded this bishop for a rook. So I'm up 2 exchanges, kind of, now. Anyway, he went here, and he actually blundered the knight here. And yeah, I thought this is just so easy. He tried to put some problem, to pose some problems here, and b4 was wrong. I should have tried to address this somehow. It didn't come to my mind. I thought let's just expand and he can do nothing about my position. And then I blundered. This was so painful, guys. This rook c1 was so wrong. I had to put the rook on the other square. You see, with the rook on c1, when he checks me here, I have to go back to e1. And when he goes back here, the only legal move I have is this. Had I put my rook here instead of on c1, just gonna show you guys. It's not a perpetual anymore because I can go here and I'm not walking into the bishop. And it's quite tragic. I blundered this. Now I have to go here and he goes here. If he goes anywhere else, why can't he? Okay. I take the bishop and I win the game. So he has to go to c2 and now there is nothing I can do about it. This was so sad, especially considering I lost my first game against this guy. The next opponent was a spoiled Joe opponent. Was a very old fella. He was walking with a cane and barely hearing. He was a very funny guy, but it just goes to show how chess is something you can play at any age. This is my first game against him, and it was a Vienna again. I played this 92, which is in my notes, in my prep. I castle f4, f5. Computer hates f5 for reasons I do not understand. The point is that I'm getting a lot of space. I'm getting closer to the opponent's king, and this bishop is running out of air on the light squares. In fact, I pushed him out, and he took with a knight, and now I thought for sure he was gonna trade his bishop for my knight, because otherwise I'm just trapping the bishop. Of course, you can lose time with a check. That does pretty much nothing. Maybe the bishop is better on c5 than it was on before. No, he got his bishop trapped. He had to sack the knight, basically. And for a moment, this was very bad. I remember I saw this during the game. he's got this queen h4, and it's really, really bad now for me. Fortunately, he didn't spot it, and I could stop queen h4 by sliding my queen on e1. He went queen f6, and why is this brilliant? Come on, this isn't brilliant. Alright. I attacked his bishop, he had to defend it, and I just centralized my knight, and I thought I was playing a really good game here. Again, don't mind too much what the computer is saying. Think of it as in a human perspective. These moves are actually not terrible when you consider I'm playing against a human and not a 3680 bot. But yeah, it's the concept that matters most. Now I was kind of scared, but I thought he must not have an attack with a queen alone and a bishop that far from my king. There is no way he has an attack. I'm just up a piece. I'm gonna win this game. He tried to trap my bishop, actually, kind of, because even if I let's play around a move, if I go here, it's not really trapped, but kind of. So I thought I should prevent this by going a3, I traded and put my knight on d5, which I thought was very strong here. He took this pawn on b2, and then I really did not believe he could take this pawn, because now I'm going f6, which is crucial. If he takes the pawn, it's a fork. So he has to push, but now some of his squares are so weak that I have to have a way to use them. I slide my king to h1, which I thought was kind of intelligent of me. This was to get out of the pin and prepare rook h2. And I spotted this beautiful mate in 4. Look at this. It looks like I'm sacking my queen. It's actually pinned. And there is not much you can do to prevent this. I sack my rook. Gotham would be proud of me. And it's made on g7. This was my first game. I'm gonna shoot the next one against this guy. A little bit faster because it's less important. But yeah, it was a French, and I got this really nice tactic here. I can actually take this pawn on e5, because if you take my knight, I take your free bishop, and if you take my bishop first with check, I just come back with a knight. This is one of my favorite tactics of all time to land, and I don't have to say I land it quite often. This all happened, by the way, and I was up a pawn, and I just thought I should defend, but I got greedy. And he attacked the bishop, and I played queen a5, which I thought was really smart. You can't take it because I'm pinning you, and I'm also putting more pressure on the c3 knight, which is pinned to the king. A lot of pins in this position. He traded, of course, because now my pawn structure is bad. He cannot actually take this, because I'm just going here, here, and here, and it's over. There's basically very little you can do, if not nothing. At least I'm taking this, but as you can see, it's already made in 7. So he can't take on f6, and he went back, and I added even more pressure on the knight. Till I finally took it. He gave me a check first, but now I'm just attacking the queen and protecting f6, of course, because it would have been kind of tragic. And I defended b7 first, and then I took the pawn. And I was just confidently up 2 pawns, queen and rook in the game. 3 pawns now. I thought, well, this is over. There is nothing you can do until I gave up this pawn. Very annoying on B. I don't know what kind of a ghost I saw, but there is nothing. Maybe I thought, now the queen is attacking the rook, so I can push, and if he takes, the queen from here is not guarding the rook anymore, and I take the rook with checkmate. Unfortunately, I forgot that this is with check. so I just lost a pawn. And this went from bad to worse. I ran and it was bad to run, apparently. I had to come back, maybe here. No, not here, not at all. I had to come back here. For some reason, there must be some computer continuation that I'm missing. I went here, and after queen f4 is just made into... I actually have two legal moves here. I have rook g5 and king h5. I saw made into after both moves. It's kind of easy. You can try it for yourself. This, where was it? I just finished saying that it was easy. Yeah, you just go here, and then after this you checkmate the king. And if I go here, it's probably here. Yeah, it is. And now it is checkmate. Okay. So I spent a lot of time here because I saw both moves, and I thought I saw both mating ones, and I was really deciding which one was the easiest to miss for my opponent. I was deciding which one would give me the higher probability to survive. I thought this one, for some reason, maybe this queen f6 move could look difficult, and it was, because he thought now my rook is pinned, and he's right, so I can just attack it. Oh, I fucked up, sorry. He thought my rook is pinned, so I can just attack it and win the rook for free, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Give me a check. I pin this queen, but there is frankly nothing to be done because pawn takes comes with check. So now he should just trade with me and win a very easy rook endgame. He's just winning every single pawn, and he's dominating with me with rook. Even though I have a lot of pawns that he doesn't have, his upper rook, it's really easy to win that endgame. He didn't go for it. Luckily, he blundered a fork. Again, lots of luck involved, but it's not my fault. Come on, guys. I took the rook, and now I'm up a lot of pawns. So I thought maybe if I continue blocking, he could have some way to find a perpetual. So I have to run my king forward, and I did. And here he offered me, or rather, I found the possibility of trading the queens forcefully, and I did, and now it's just over. There is nothing to be done here. That's my fourth game of the tournament, or rather fourth opponent, and I believe this is my second game against him. I've lost my first one. Either way, if it's my first one, I lost the second one. I know I lost the other match, and I'm gonna walk you through this one. He opened with a Scandinavian, which is exactly what I expected. He pretty much only played this against me, I believe. My notice is 1700, so he's quite strong. I've faced him before, and he's actually always beaten me. I've never managed to grasp a draw or a win. He's a really funny fella. I really respect him. He's probably like 70 or something like, but we get along. We do get along. And yeah, he played the Scandinavia. You might notice he gave me a pawn here. I could try to defend it with some c4, maybe even bishop c4, but I don't like trying to hang on to the pawn at all costs. I'd rather just give it back and seize back some of the initiative. And yeah, we traded pieces, and I actually grabbed the full center, and I thought, yeah, my position is great. I have 2 pieces developed. He's got 2 pieces developed. The only difference is I'm already castled. He's at least 2 moves away from castling, 3 with a castling move, and I have 2 pawns in the center, so I'm occupying the center, which is really good. My position is indeed really good, even to the computer, as I kept developing pieces in a way that seemed natural. I played a3 to avoid anything coming over to b4, and he mirrored my move playing a6. And I decided to not trade this bishop because I felt like it would only helping get the queen out, and I dropped back to g3, hoping that he would take, and he did, to open my h-file and maybe someday create an attack against the king. I know there is no rook on h1, but one could always dream of a maneuver like this one, right? King h2, if I can manage to draw arrows. Rook h1 and king back to g1, and the rook is active on the column. I want to trade the knight because I felt my knight on c3 was doing not much, while the knight on f6 was defending the king. So I thought, I'm trading a knight that's not doing much for a knight that's doing a lot. It is quite good. I threatened checkmate, which is kind of dumb, because just knight g6 blocks the whole thing, and it also prevents my queen from going to h4 and keeping the attack, as you can see. Actually, I think I thought after playing knight g5 that after he blocks I can get over to the h-file and deliver checkmate, but of course the knight on g6 blocks h4, so there's nothing. Yeah, in retrospective, maybe knight g5 wasn't the best move, but it's a game indeed. I decided not to go for some queen h3 or queen h5 threatening mate, because just h3 and I didn't really know what I was doing. But I was really investing in this attack. As you can see, this maneuver happened indeed. I tried to begin it. Of course, if I were to put my rook here, would be gammaed in spawn, which is not really a problem for the attack, but the real problem is that now with the queen here, my king cannot get out, so this rook is basically useless on h1. So I had to push the pawn first to protect it, gambited the d4 pawn in the process, but we don't talk about that. I finally went for queen h5, and of course h6 is the only move. And here I thought, well, I don't know what I'm doing, because after h6, if I trade, now the queen does cover the g1 square for the king, so there is no this maneuver anymore. And yeah, I just went back and basically said, I'm sorry, there is no attack, I don't know what I was doing. Turns out there is a tactic here that I missed, which is knight takes e6, forking the queen and the rook, so he has to take, and then this knight is left hanging, so I can win a pawn here, and the position is equal. Computer wants to play e5 for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with taking this one, but yeah, it's pretty much an equal position, except that I missed that I can take here. And in fact, if I don't take here, the position is quite bad, because I'm down a pawn and I'm gonna be down 2 pawns. Now I'm down 2 pawns. My queen is stranded in h5, not doing much. Now I'm down 2 pawns. I don't like to brag, but one of my best skills in chess is to defend a position when I'm down some material or an attack. One thing that I really like about chess is defending when I'm at some disadvantage. So I thought, yep, let's just be solid, try to create some counterplay against the weak pawns of him, and see how he beats me. Like, I know this position is good for him, but he still has to beat me somehow. Let's see how he does it, and let's see if I can do anything about it. I didn't trade, of course, because I'm down 2 pawns, so the end game is really bad for me. And yeah, I remaneuvered my knight to this squares, because I thought it was gonna be really strong on this squares. He attacked my queen. Yeah, my position is, you can see it's bad, but it's not getting any worse. I'm just defending it's a very good defense I'm putting in. And yeah, I keep doing nothing, threatening mate here. It's not checkmate, but it's kind of a big attack if you don't defend this. And at this moment he had to play knight f5, which defends indirectly because it liberates the queen's view to f7. Instead he blocked it with rook f8, but now that gives me rook f3, trying to go here, and it's tough. It's really difficult to stop, and I have some real amount of counterplay against this king. Computer wants queen c8, after which I have Okay, let's just ignore a4. What kind of a human plays a4 here? Okay, let's just pretend we didn't see a4, which is quite horrifying that you can play a4 in this position. He went knight g6, and I believe in this position we were both very low on the clock, and I believe I played rook d7, which is bad. I'm gonna show you. Computer will hate it. Yeah, but we were so low on the clock, then he just offered a draw because he doesn't like to play with low times when both people have no time on the clock. And I kind of agree with him. Because otherwise it's just an endgame. After he offered a draw, we analyzed this position and we knew that knight g6 was the best move. And we kind of analyzed all of this. And yeah, these are all the moves that we saw. And that's just a rook endgame. I can get in with a rook, and there's no way for him to guard both rooks. And I'm very glad that the analysis we did is blessed by the computer. This is exactly what the computer says. There is no way for any one of us to get an advantage here. You might say he's got 2 pawns, but the rook is just too strong and he's cutting off the king, which is the most important thing. So his king can never cross, and there is actually no way for him to block my king, because at all points I can go g4 and sneak around my own pawn, use my own pawn as a shield. So yeah, besides, anytime he moves this rook, I can, well, not here, I play g4 here to guard this. Anytime he moves the rook, I can just take, and it's gonna end in a draw. So this was a peaceful game. I tried to go on an attack, but it didn't work. And yeah, I'm very glad I draw him. As I said, he's really strong. I think he's been first national. The equivalent in Italy, it's a bit different, but he's like the title before being candidate master. It's not really a title, but he's quite strong. 17 is his unofficial rating, but he's been way higher in the FIDE ratings. I don't know the number exactly. And finally, my 5th opponent, and you might notice he's 1500, but he's actually kind of stronger than this. I don't know why his rating is that low. Well, 1500 is not low at all, but yeah, he's always performed a bit stronger than 1500. I lost my first game against this guy, so this is my second game, and let's go. I play the French as always, and I like to play knight f6 here to invite his pawn forward, to bait his pawn forward, and play the advanced French that I really like. Instead he pinned me, and I went to c5, and you might notice I don't have an evaluation bar or the engine lines, but I believe this game is better enjoyed without them, for a reason that you'll see moving forward. He plays c3, which is a line that I really dig. I really like it. I'm knight c6, of course. And here I thought I blundered the knight. I thought, oh my god, how did I miss that? Now my knight is pinned and can't move, and I lost it. And of course, you know, h6 completely saves the knight, because if he moves the bishop, then my knight is not pinned and I can move it. And if he takes my knight, I can take his bishop. And yeah, he's gaining a pawn, but I'm not blundering a piece at least. So my first reaction was, shit, I blundered the piece. But then I saw h6, and then I saw queen b6. And actually, maybe the first thing that I saw was queen b6 to get some initiative. Then I saw that h6 saved the piece. And I still decided to go queen b6. And I'm just gonna turn it on for a moment for you, just to show you how much the computer completely hates this. It's 1.8 for white, sorry. But yeah, I went to, what is going on? It froze. Okay. I went to attack the b2 pawn and the rook, so I got a pawn back, and I'm gonna get a second pawn back, but I'm attacking the bishop, so he has to do something about it, and then I can get my third pawn back. So it's actually 3 pawns for a knight, which is good. I mean, right now my threat is to take the bishop, and he has to take with the king, because if he takes with the queen, I'm obviously taking the rook. So I have a lot of initiative, and this bishop is kind of stupid. and 3 pawns for the piece. I thought I was good. I was doing very good here. Computer in this position doesn't even dislike my position this much. I'm gonna turn the evaluation to yeah, because just 3 pawns in the center, and these are really important. If I can manage to trade down to an endgame, I'm gonna have really good winning chances. I actually thought I was way better here. I thought my position was very good. Instead, white just has a comfortable position, but doesn't matter. Why not? Well, I always have to click here. I pushed the pawn to create a barrier on the light square. I mean, look at this. I even created connect 4, and there's a chance I might even create connect 5 here, which, you know, already wins the game by the rules. I took another pawn, so now I'm up 4 pawns, 4 entire pawns. That's a lot of pawns, guys, for a single knight. And yeah, I played bishop d7, kind of hoping for him to blunder this, but of course it didn't happen. He's quite strong. And this move queen a8 scared me a bit because he's attacking this, of course, and I really don't want to give it to him. So I pushed, and I thought, yeah, now one square at a time, we're just gonna push every single pawn all the same, and I mean, try to stop me. Right now there is actually a threat. I'm threatening to push. He has to move the bishop, and I'm forking him. It's not really a threat because he's got bishop c1 attacking my queen, so I can't push d3. But you get the point. I have a lot of initiative. Bishop c1 happens indeed, and yeah, here I completely blundered 95. 95 is a very strong move. Of course, if I take, he's forking my king and rook, and I'm losing at this point a bit too much material because I'm also giving him 2 pawns in the process. So I decided not to take it and just go for the initiative, go to attack everything and anything that I could. I actually thought maybe now I don't even have to take and just keep pushing because there is a pin and I'm attacking the rook, so it doesn't even work, guys. Nothing works here. I can't push here because just he takes and the queen gets in, and it's very ugly. Again, made it very soon here, even though the computer doesn't see it. So I had to take the knight, and yeah, he took here. I played the only move that could save the rook, and this was heartbreaking because now, of course, rook e2, I'm busted. I'm losing my queen by force, so I just sacked it and brought the other rook, but now I have 2 rooks for 2 bishops and a queen. I do have what's this? 2 pawns for all of this disadvantage, but it's not gonna cut it. He was low on the clock. I actually think there was a chance that I could just flag him here, but I prefer to resign right away. I was very sad after this game because if you see the position, if you just look at it visually, it looks terrifying to play against black here. Terrifying to play white. I really thought I was way better, but I'm not. Apparently there is nothing. These pawns just fall apart out of nowhere. Another really important thing is that I never used any of my rooks. I actually never moved them except for the endgame where I was already lost. So yeah, maybe next time try to make a better use of them. Maybe castle long sometimes, or play rook g1, gi score. Sorry, happens, guys. Heartbreaking, but there is actually nothing. I never had even advantage against the according to computer. Yeah. So this is how my tournament is over. I think I said that I lost the other game, but I won it actually. I had a very losing position. I was down some material, and there was also a big attack on my king, but he actually blundered this queen, so I took the W in the first game. And yeah, with this one, my tournament is over, and I finished with exactly half the points, so as many losses as I had wins, plus the draws. which is neutral. I'm not gonna complain. It could have been way worse, could have been way better, but I'm not gonna complain. Solid. I gained some ELO. I'm actually now 1604, which is great, and I'm looking forward for the new tournament. And it's not gonna be rapid. I remind you, all of these games were rapid, and it's gonna be classical, so 1 hour per player. And yeah, so only, of course, 1 game per opponent, either white or black. Yeah, see you next tournament, and thank you for following me.